Hello, 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 and welcome to my review of Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode 3 in San Diego. Yes, Married at First Sight is in cold San Diego, and you could tell by these weddings, these people were freezing out there. You know, I guess these weddings must have been sometime in the winter time if we're just starting to see them now because they were cold. Even though San Diego is cold a lot, they looked really chilly. Not only did we have cold weather, we had a cold groom, and his name was Mitch. Last week I was calling him a groomzilla. He's still a groomzilla. But this week I'm basically saying Mitch the Itch, he's full of fill in the blank. If you're new to my channel, I do separate videos on all the couples, and at the end of each video, you'll see a link above my head. You can click on it and you can watch the video for the next couple. But for right now, in this video for Married at First Sight Season 15, we are talking about Krysten and Mitch the Itch. Poor Krysten, she talking to her father, talking about what could go wrong with marrying a stranger. A lot could go wrong, and I'm telling you, I think a lot's gonna go wrong with Mitch the Itch. I am not getting a good feeling about this couple at all. In fact, it seems to be getting worse and worse and worse and worse. This man is crazy. He's still running around with a band-aid on his head. You know what? I know he had this surfing accident and everything, but what would happen if he took it off? Would blood be gushing from his head? I don't know why you couldn't take a band-aid off for a 10-minute wedding ceremony. Why did he have to keep that on in the wedding pictures and everything? Like I said, he's selfish. He's a lot of things I don't like. I just don't understand that. I wouldn't want my wedding pictures ruined with a band-aid sitting on the top of your head. That's stupid. Take that off. He's still talking about he's being a groomzilla. He feel like he's having temper tantrums and everything when you are having them. And then he starts to go on talking about he wished that he never really wanted a big wedding. He wanted a low-key wedding and all this other kind of stuff. Then why are you on Married at First Sight? Talking about, I didn't want a lot of pressure on my wedding. Why are you on Married at First Sight? I mean, what kind of pressure did you think was going to be low pressure marrying a stranger? So you talk about you want a low-key wedding. You don't want no pressure. You don't want a lot of fuss. You don't want a lot of people and all this other kind of stuff. But then you get married on national TV with a whole production staff. That's the complete opposite of what you want. Mitch, he just says stuff to say stuff. And then he wants everybody to scramble around and make him feel comfortable. He gets on my nerves. The wedding gift he gave Krysten was a plant. I'm surprised it wasn't a cactus. But anyway, he gave her a plant, talking about this is for our budding relationship and watering the plant and growing. It was a nice sentiment and all, but you know, it's one of those things where you get a gift from the wrong person. That's how I feel with Mitch. It was a sentimental gift. I get that. But it really did come from the wrong person. Then the way his crazy head thinks, he started talking about he's having ghosts of his past show up in his dreams, talking about ex-girlfriends, probably coming to haunt him. From all the things he did to him. Talking about he tying up loose ends in his dreams. It probably was a nightmare. Probably wasn't no dream. Probably was a nightmare. And them ex-girlfriends, ghosts from the past, is coming back and taunting his spirit and his soul, probably because of the way he treated them. I could tell he hasn't treated a lot of people well at all. I could tell. You know, as I watched Krysten get ready for this wedding, I'm looking at her wedding dress. I'm saying that wedding dress really is a plain wedding dress. You know, I'm never one to really talk about people's wedding dresses, but that wedding dress, I tell you, it seemed like something I would wear just on a regular afternoon to go, you know, wine tasting or something. It didn't really strike me as a wedding dress all the way. And it's so ironic because then Mitch later on starts complaining about the wedding dress, talking about he likes a woman more natural. Well, what's she supposed to show up? Shorts and Birkenstocks? This is ridiculous. How much more plain of a wedding dress could you get? I mean, he act like he want the girl to show up in some sandals or barefoot or with some Birkenstocks on with a sun hat and some sunshades. Or, you know, he's ridiculous. The stuff he asked for doesn't even make any sense. It's one of the things I don't like about him. He's already setting the stage to come up with a lot of things he's not going to like, even before he met Krysten. And then, of course, afterwards, he came up with even more stuff. But he's the type of person where he's just difficult. He's a difficult person to get along with, and they're never going to be happy. It's always going to be something wrong, and they always want you running around trying to accommodate them. And you know what? Krysten seems so overeager these days, you know, these first couple of episodes. I really hope she isn't running around trying to please this man continuously, because I'm telling you, he can't be pleased. He can't be pleased. He's not even pleased with himself. When they were getting ready for the wedding, that mother started walking down the aisle, and I was like, what's she strutting like she on a runway? Let me tell you, that mama had on her revenge outfit for that daddy, because I don't think that daddy and them are married no more. She said, I'm going to show up at this wedding. I'm going to show this man what he lost back in the day when we had Krysten, because I don't think they're married anymore. I don't know. But that sure looked like a revenge outfit to me. She was decked to nine. Even Mitch was looking at her. Is that my wife? Is that my wife? I thought that was so tacky. I thought that was so tacky. All that flirting he was doing with that mama, MILFs, mothers I like to that was tacky. Let me tell you right now, if I found out my husband had done that, that would be grounds for divorce right away, because that's gross that your husband is flirting and hitting on your mama. And then he talks about he wished Krysten wasn't so dolled up. He likes a woman more natural. But you over here Google Island at the mother, and she's all dolled up. She got on a bright fuchsia dress. She looks great, but you want to tell Krysten because she's dolled up, it was too much for you. Boy, get over yourself. Like I said, he is always going to have a complaint about something. Even when Krysten finally showed up at the altar, he had no compliment for her, whatever. She's complimenting him. People are complimenting her. The mother, Mitch's mother's complimenting her on her dress. Mitch didn't give her one compliment. He didn't say she looked nice. She didn't say the dress was nice. She didn't say she looked pretty. And this goes back to the same thing I said about Alexis and Justin at the altar. Let me tell you, when you're getting married, you better come up with a compliment. You could come up with anything. Your smile is nice. Your earrings are nice. Your hair looks nice. Those shoes are nice. Something. It tells me that if you couldn't come up with one compliment, something is wrong with you. As many times as she kept prompting him, as many times as she kept trying to get out of him a compliment, he never gave her one. Not one at all. I don't like him at all. He is not a nice person. Alyssa from last year, he ain't a good person. All his friends talking about he's the total package. No, he's not. He ain't even one item in the package. He's not a total package at all. I don't even know why these people are lying for him. I know that brother don't really believe it, because he talks about, the brother talk about him like a dog. I know that brother don't really believe he's a total package. Absolutely not. He's missing a lot out of that package. A lot. It's an empty package. Empty. I'm starting to realize that the only two things these two have in common is that they go to the beach every day. That's it. That's about as all they have in common, is the two of them go to the beach every day, like millions of other people in the world. These people are not a good match. I can't believe this Mitch fella made the cut and he got on this show. He probably sat there and charmed them experts or whatever else and fooled everybody. He's about to be another Alyssa or somebody, where they do really well on interviews and fool people and start talking about all this rescuing dogs. And now he's talking about environmental and plastic, and everybody get all nice and fuzzy thinking they're such a good person, and they end up being the worst people of all. Mitch is I think he's going to be in the running for one of the worst husbands on Married at First Sight history. I'm telling you right now, I see it coming. He didn't want to kiss the girl at the altar when they said, okay, now you can kiss the bride. He was like, oh, okay, with your permission. I know he was hoping she'd say no, and she was like, we gonna kiss. But I know he didn't want to kiss her. He didn't want to kiss her. You could look at him and tell he could have gone without that kiss and walked right on down that aisle. Because even when they was walking back, Krysten had to grab his hand to walk back down the aisle. He wasn't even going to hold the girl's hand to walk down the aisle. Krysten was like, we ain't doing this. She reached over, grabbed that man's hand, said, let's walk down this aisle. She going to have to be leading him the whole way emotionally, because this man, he don't want to do anything. I'm telling you, he's like a kid in a temper tantrum in Walmart, laying out on the floor, talking about, I ain't moving. I don't want to go nowhere. I don't want to do nothing. Give me some candy. That's what he's doing. Krysten over here laying it on thick, talking about, oh, he's bald, he's tall, he's just what I wanted. I'm so hot for him. Girl, slow it down. You know, I like Krysten. She wears her heart on her sleeve, but she really needs to slow it down. In fact, they were talking so much. They were over talking each other. You barely could hear the conversation. She was over talking him. He was over talking her. Neither one of them could finish their sentence. I don't know if it was nervous energy where, you know, you just talk to fill the space with some talking because you're afraid of the silence. Maybe that's what it seemed like, because they was over talking to each other, and not in a good way, not completing sentences like it was good chemistry. It was bad chemistry. And then here come Mitch coming up with some new criteria where he can't like Krysten. Oh, well, I don't want to move too soon. I did that in the past. I don't want to do it this time. Now he's trying to play hard to having all this criteria around what he can do, putting up all these walls and barriers and all of these types of things that Krysten's gonna need to do in order for him to feel comfortable with her. You can see it coming already. He got a long list. Every 5 seconds, he got a new criteria of what he wants Krysten to do in order for him to feel comfortable with her. It's a growing list, just like Alyssa last year. He started talking about he's not physically attracted to her. She's more mainstream. What does mainstream mean? You mean here in 2020? If you want someone so natural, take that Band-Aid off your head, and why don't you be natural and let that blood gush out of your head? You ain't natural either. You covering up that wound you say you have. I guarantee you the next time he sees Krysten and she ain't all dolled up and she don't have all that makeup, he gonna have another problem with that too. It's gonna be problem after problem after problem. He talking about he don't care about the physical. He don't care about the physical. It's more like the mental and all this other kind of stuff. But then he's Google Island over the mother, talking about how beautiful she is, and I thought you was gonna be my wife. That's just so tacky. Tacky. But he said he liked them big breasts and everything. And then when it was all cold out there, you know, for San Diego, he was like, I ain't afraid to make a scene. Get me a heater over here. He a mess. He's a mess. He's talking about, you gonna learn that about me, Krysten. I'm not afraid to make a scene out here. Give me some heaters over here. This man is horrific. He was saying after an hour in the wedding, he was starting to warm up to her a little bit. You know what? He got so much criteria. I don't like people like this. Like, you have to prove yourself to them before they can even just basically like you and have a conversation with you. That's like he's playing hard to get or something. But then when he sits with the mama, he all googly eyed talking about, you know, I'm not really into the financial success. I'm more mission based driven. Basically, what you saying? You broke? Is that what you saying? You broke? That mama's like, well, Krysten gonna want both. She don't mind you being mission driven, but she gonna want both. All he talks about is removing plastic off the ocean. He's a one-trick pony. Don't you have any other conversation besides picking up plastic on the beach? I mean, what are you talking about? A homeless do that. The homeless people do that. They pick up containers and reuse them and look for food off the beach too. That don't make them necessarily some great environmentalist. You need to become a good person, period, before you start worrying about saving the climate and saving the oceans. Why don't you work on being a good person first? And poor Krysten, she ain't seeing none of the signs. Her friends up there asking her, is there a mutual attraction? She's like, yeah, it is. Girl, no, it ain't. You can't even read the signs. She's talking so much. She's not even watching anything. Not at all. You know, Krysten's on the after party, and it's interesting because she does make a comment about it. She says she didn't see any of the red flags. She goes, all the red flags were coming to her, but she was so excited about her wedding. She was like doing snow angels in the snow. So that tells you that on hindsight, looking back, she realized there was a lot of red flags with Mitch the Itch. And let me tell you, there are a lot of them. And them bells and whistles is going off like a fire alarm at this wedding on this man. When Mitch sees Miguel in the restroom, the men's restroom, because I guess the weddings were on the same day, but in different areas, he starts trying to talk to Miguel, talking about, you know, how are you cautiously optimistic? And Miguel's like, I'm 2 feet in. I'm all the way in. Don't be trying to tame Miguel. Miguel is one of my favorites, y'all. So you definitely got to check out my video on him. But I'm loving me some Miguel. But don't be hanging around Mitch Miguel. Leave him alone because he ain't worth nothing. Mitch up here trying to play hard to get him. Miguel's like, he's knee deep in. He's already pedal to the metal. He's going full steam ahead with Lindy. And Mitch over here trying to play hard trying to think of reasons why he can't like Krysten. And then when Mitch's friends say, are you gonna have sex on the first night? Are you gonna try to sleep with her? He's like, no, I'm not gonna do all that. You know, women do be trying to go crazy for me all the time. Boy, get out of here. Ain't nobody going crazy with you. You ain't had no sex in 5 years. You ain't even had no relationship in 5 years, whatever the case may be. Ain't nobody liked you in 5 years. You are not no hot commodity out here on these San Diego streets. Not at all. You wasting away on the shelf. He talking about he don't sleep with no woman on the first date. His friend was like, man, don't be trying to fool me. I know how hungry you are. Exactly. Starving. 5 years, he's starving. And he's still trying to act like he's a hot commodity out here. And he gonna play hard to get for Krysten. Boy, get out of here. I'm so tired of Mitch the Itch, y'all. This is a disaster. You know what? They just gonna be here for us to talk about, just like Alyssa was. But this couple ain't going nowhere. Absolutely not. Anyway, check out my other videos on the other couples. Talk to you later. Bye.